People always ask if being the forgotten sibling ever comes back to haunt the parents. In my case, it did. My parents only ever wanted a daughter. I was the accident they never tried to hide. Whenever they took my sister skiing, skydiving, or on vacations, they left me behind and acted like they were a perfect family of three. I didn't exist unless I was in the way. But while I was ignored, my sister was crushed under impossible expectations. They pushed her relentlessly, forcing her to read for hours until her eyes were red and bleeding, demanding perfection in everything she did. When she turned 16, she finally broke. She told me she was done being their golden child and planned to run away to live with our uncle in another state. She made me promise not to tell our parents. I kept that promise. Before she could leave, she was killed in a car accident. My parents collapsed emotionally. At the funeral, they screamed that their entire family had been destroyed. I felt sorry for them, but they never knew the truth. And since I was already living with my aunt, I chose to stay silent. They never called, never texted, not even when I graduated college. So when my mother called me 10 years later, I was stunned. She sounded excited. She said my sister was alive and living with them again. I told her softly that my sister was gone. She said no, the accident was fake, that my sister had been kidnapped, escaped, and finally came home, and now they were going to spoil her forever. I got in my car and drove home immediately. The woman waiting there looked nothing like my sister. Her hair was long and tangled, her face rough like she'd lived on the streets for years. She smiled and said, "Hey, you're my brother, right? I remember how you used to bully me." My parents laughed like it was the funniest joke they'd ever heard. I understood instantly. She was a con artist. My parents had spent years performing rituals at my sister's grave, bringing her favorite things, begging her to come back. Someone saw their grief and exploited it. I tried to tell my mother the truth, that we'd seen my sister's body, that this woman was lying. She refused to listen. My parents praised the imposter, calling her beautiful. Finally, I snapped. I told them that even if my sister were alive, she would never come back to them. I showed them the messages proving she planned to run away. My mother slapped me across the face. My father held the woman like I was the intruder. They threw me out and blocked me on everything. So I walked away and let karma handle it. 5 days later, the woman vanished. She stole all their money, emptied the safe, took my dad's car, and left a note calling them idiots. They called me crying, begging for help. I said 3 words, "I told you so," and hung up. Wherever my sister is now, I know she's finally free.